Hi, this is John Horn from StubGroup. We're one of the top premier Google partner digital advertising agencies in the world, and we help businesses dominate Google Ads and grow their profit. And one thing that can help accomplish both of those goals is call ads. What are call ads? We're going to talk through what are good call-through rates, are call ads more expensive than regular ads, and all sorts of other goodies. And as an agency, we have spent millions and millions of dollars on call ads, so that's exactly how we know what we're talking about. All right, first of all, what is a call ad? So it's a type of ad that Google offers where the call to action or the action you can take from the ad is not to click through to a website, but is actually to initiate a phone call. That being the case, these ads only show up on mobile devices because obviously that's the only place you can initiate a phone call from. So you'll see this ad come up if you're on your phone Googling something, and the headline is call, whatever phone number, you tap on that, and then you can initiate a phone call. Now, why is this a really cool type of ad? Because if you're trying to drive phone calls to your business, the less friction you can create between the customer and getting that customer on the phone, the better. And you're probably going to have a much higher call through rate, for example, if people can just tap that button and start call directly from the search engine results page, than if they go through to your website, and you're going to lose a percentage of people who do that and so forth. And so that's why a lot of businesses like call ads. Now, there are some caveats and downsides to them too, and we're going to get into all of that and talk about where they're a good idea and where they are not as good of an idea. But a lot of people have a misperception that you are actually paying Google per call. That's not actually what's going on. So there's still a cost per click model. You are paying when someone clicks or taps on your ad. Now you could be saying, well, every time someone taps on my ad, they're calling me. So basically it's a cost per call, right? Well, not exactly, because what happens is when someone taps on that ad, it doesn't actually immediately initiate a phone call. What it does is it brings up the phone number right there on their phone and allows them to tap again, and that initiates a phone call. And not everyone does that. People will click accidentally, or maybe they won't realize that it's a call ad and they think they're getting to your website, or whatever the case may be. They change their mind, all sorts of reasons. But there's always a percentage of people who tap on the ad initially and don't actually make a phone call. And unfortunately, Google still charges you for that. So it's a cost per click model. You're charged for everyone who engages with the ad, not necessarily everyone who actually calls you. And obviously, not every call is going to turn into a good prospect either, so you have to factor that into your numbers. Now, what is a good call through rate? In other words, what percentage of people who tap on your call ad should you expect will actually make a phone call? That's something that we've seen very significantly by industry, and we've run these types of ads in many, many different industries. And I would say on the high end, 80% is usually the highest call through rate that we see. So essentially, 80% of the people who are tapping on your ad actually follow through and make a phone call to you. We've also seen all the way down to 50, 40%, sometimes even lower. It really depends upon the vertical or the market that you're in. So 80% is kind of what we would like to ideally aim for, but it's not always realistic. Are call ads more expensive than regular ads? That's another common question. And the short answer is yes, kind of. So Google admits in their own information that they put out there about call ads that they may basically do a bit of an upcharge in what you have to pay in your cost per click if you're running a call ad. So you might actually have to pay more. How much more, they won't tell you, but you might have to pay more if you were running a call ad rather than if you were running a click to website ad. Now, the obvious benefit is that with most of those taps on your ad turning into phone calls, you may end up paying way less per phone call than you would if you were sending people to your website and then you had the normal website attrition with percentage of people not actually following through and calling you after you're reaching your website. So you may pay more per click for call ads, quite likely, but you still may pay much less per actual phone call, depending on your different conversion rates and what you can expect there. Other things to keep in mind. So we talked about what's good call through rate. We talked about, do you pay per phone call? Are they more expensive? What types of traffic are good for call ads? Like, what can you expect if you run a call ad? And what we have come to learn or come to see and observe in the data is that Google really likes to show call ads for what we call branded search terms. So search terms that contain a company name of some kind, whether that be your company name or a competitor's company name. a lot of the traction that call ads get is from someone searching for a company name. And that makes a lot of sense because a lot of people who are searching for a company name, they are trying to contact that company. They've already maybe kind of made a decision about what they're doing, or they're just trying to get in touch with them. And so they search that name, tap the first ad that comes up, and boom, there you go. So we've seen call ads work very well in some instances for campaigns that are focused on maybe competitor traffic or branded traffic, or brand names in general. And it can be a lot harder to get any kind of traction from what we call generic search terms that are just a question, or someone just looking up a word, a keyword that has nothing to do with a brand. So we see that be the case often. And again, too, generally the cost per clicks that we'll see are often cheaper on the brand term side of things than the generic side of things. Other things that you can keep in mind, definitely use Google's built-in phone call tracking ability. So you can turn things on in your account so that Google will actually track how many phone calls you're getting from your ads, and they'll keep a record of the phone numbers of the callers. And this can be really helpful and important in making sure that you can compare that information that Google collects with your own system to make sure that every single phone call you're paying for is actually getting through to your team. Because the last thing you want is a situation where you're paying for traffic, you're paying for calls, and maybe there's some kind of technical issue on your end, or your team isn't picking up the phone, or whatever the case may be, but you're missing out on phone calls you could be receiving. So make sure you've got that phone call tracking option turned on. At the end of the day, should you or shouldn't you use call ads? It really depends upon your business model and your goals. If you're in a business model where you got to get people on the phone, ideally, you're going after some kind of maybe competitor traffic, branded traffic, where you're more likely to get call ads to show up, that can work very well. And if you're in a space where you really don't need people to read much information before they reach out to you, that's also a good fit. So let's say a plumber, for example. Someone has a broken pipe. They really don't need to read your whole website about how you got started as a plumber and what's your email address and so forth before they reach out to you. No, they need someone right now to come fix their leak. And so a call ad could be really good in that situation. Expensive, because everyone else might be doing the same thing, but really good. On the other hand, if you're a SaaS company that's got some complicated software that people are researching to see if that's a solution to their needs, call ads are probably not a good solution for you, because you will need people to get to your website and figure out what's going on, realize that what you sell is a solution to their need before they reach out and work with you. So keep in mind what type of business you are, how much information you need to communicate to people before they reach out to you, and whether or not you even want phone calls. But if you do want those calls and you meet those criteria, call ads could be a great thing for you to test. And as always, let the data dictate what works well for you. Hopefully that's helpful. Again, here at StubGroup, we have managed millions and millions of dollars of ad spend related to call ads and every other type of ad you can imagine. If you're looking for help from a professional to take your campaigns to the next level, we'd love to help. Reach out through StubGroup.com, and one of our team will speak with you about your situation and see what we can do to boost those profits and take you to the next level. Thanks so much for watching. This is John.
Hey, do you want to dominate Google Ads and grow your business? Subscribe to this channel and we'll help you learn how. You see, we've made almost $500 million for our clients from Google Ads. In fact, according to Google, StubGroup is one of the best performing Google partners in the world. Subscribe to our channel for more videos like the one you just watched, and learn how to dominate Google Ads, increase profits, and grow your business too. And check out the description below for your own free Google Ads profit plan, customized for your business.